What is going on YouTube? Do you remember last year when I made these little trees? Well, this year I decided to play around and make some really big trees. Stick around and I will show you exactly how we put these trees together. My name's Andy, this is Cedar River Woodworking, and welcome to the shop. So last year I did make a video about these little Christmas trees. They are about 14 inches tall. I did have a lot of questions in the comments section. Also, if you came from that video, let me know down in the comments here, down in the doobly-doos. A lot of those questions were, how can I make it out of some 2x4s? This is your 2x4 project. Now, I want to thank all of you for being here. You have really helped this channel grow tremendously. And we have a goal of hitting 10,000 subscribers by 2024. So future Andy here, and I just want to say we crushed that 10,000 subscriber goal. That was before 2024. Now that we crushed that goal, what should our next goal be? 20,000? 50,000? Let us know down in the comment section below. Now I also want to say we have opened up a members section for the channel. What that will do is help support the channel in future projects just like this one. This will also help with future giveaways that may come from this channel. Now let's get back to the video. Now I've seen in some of the analytics that only about 10% of you watching my videos have been subscribed. So if you like this video or any of my other videos, please consider subscribing. Now let's get over to the miter station and I'll show you exactly how we make this tree. All right, so over here at the miter saw, we're gonna go ahead and make some of our cuts. Now we're gonna make this out of some 2x4s, and you're gonna need just over 8 feet of 2x4s. So you can use two 2x4s if you have some scrap 2x4s laying around. That is a great idea to take care of some of those scrap pieces. So we're gonna go over here and we are going to set our saw to 30 degrees. The saw set at 30 degrees. Last video, we actually cut on a bevel, so coming sideways like this. This time, we're gonna cut on a miter, just to show you the difference of how these cut. We are gonna go ahead and mark out a 10.5 inch cut. And then, we're gonna go ahead and set up our stop block of where we're gonna cut this, because this piece is gonna get cut 5 times. So on our stop block, we're gonna set it here. And this first piece we're gonna cut, we've got a factory edge on the end here, and that's gonna be okay because we're gonna make a second cut on it. Now with that there, we're gonna put the point into the stop block so that we're gonna have a parallelogram. So that means the two ends are gonna be facing the same direction. That's what I mean by a parallelogram. Now, like I said, we're gonna make this cut 5 times. Now remember, all of these cuts are going to be at 30 degrees. Now, for our next cut, we are going to cut a 14.5 inch cut, and this is cutting from point to point. This one is gonna be a trapezoid, so you're gonna want the angles to face in towards each other like this. So from the top point, it's gonna be 14.5 inches. Now I'm going to take the stop block off of here. I'm not going to need it for any of the rest of our cuts. So at that 14.5, I'm going to line everything up and cut our 30-degree angle. Now the next one is going to be the top corner of the tree. This is the one that's going to get an overlap on it. And I am going to measure it out here. Across the top again. And make our cut. Finally, this is where you're going to have some of that leftover. This, I cannot cut the base out of. I could cut the base out of this and just have a smaller base for it. I want to have the exact dimensions that I'm looking for. So I'm going to cut another piece off of here at 20.5 inches. Now this one is also going to be a trapezoid shape, so where the tops come in at each other. Alright, so we are back at the bench here, and we are going to assemble this tree. So as a recap of this, if you've seen my other Christmas tree video, I pretty much just doubled the dimensions on everything there. But here is a quick recap of all of the dimensions that we are going to be using. The base, which is a trapezoid, so it's going to have the angles facing in towards each other, is 10.5 inches. The base of the tree, also a trapezoid, angles facing in towards each other, is 20.5 degrees. Then we will have 4 parallelograms. That means that the angles follow the same direction. These are at 10.5. We have the short side of our peak, which is 13, also a trapezoid. So angles face in towards each other. And the last part of the top is 14.5 inches. This is going to be a trapezoid as well, with the angles facing in towards each other. Remember, these are all 30-degree angles, simple and easy to cut. So how we are going to assemble this. I have a board here attached to my bench just as a straight edge of sorts. I'm going to take the very bottom of it and the 2 bottom, I'll call them branches, and we're going to butt everything up there so that everything is nice and tight. All our joints look good, so we are going to take some glue right on these edges and then press them right in there. Now how we're going to hold this together is with some brad nails. The brad nails are going to essentially act as our clamp to hold everything together. I have a cordless brad nailer here. This is with 2-inch brad nails. I do have a link in the description below for the brad nails that I'm using. Now, if you don't have a brad nailer yet, you can get the air-powered ones. They are a lot cheaper than these battery-powered ones, but you also have to go out and get a air compressor with that as well. So if you don't have any of that set up, I would highly recommend these electric guys. They are a little bit heavier, but it's definitely worth it. And most companies that people are using, DeWalt, Milwaukee, Ryobi, any of those, they all have their own brad nailer. I'll link some of those in the description below as well. So then we're going to go ahead and put our very top piece together, actually. And I like to do this because then if there's any wiggle room that we need for the middle set of branches, we can go ahead and make that correction there. So these look all right to me. Remember, more glue. And we're going to brad nail these together as well. So those nice and tight. Okay, those are in there. Now we can put our branches on. So From the tip of these, I measured down about 3 inches, and that's going to come up with the short side of the next branch there. These are just kind of a general measurement. I like to put them together and just see where everything lines up. So you can see the top here, it's a little bit off from that 3-inch mark, and that's okay. Some imperfection is all right with these trees. Now you could also add some glue in there and not have any brad nails and just clamp everything into place. That will be perfectly acceptable too. There's a lot more room on these bigger trees than there are the small trees. I'm just gonna go ahead and brad nail it for the sake of speed. So we're gonna go ahead and get glue on these guys as well and nail them together. And then we're gonna finish the top off here. Put some glue on there. And glue on these top pieces. Now this is where clamps would really help out. They'll square everything up and get everything just right for you. Now to finish off this tree, I'm gonna go ahead and put the base on. This is our 10.5-inch piece. That is a trapezoid. Now I marked center on here. This tree at the base measures 24 inches wide, so I marked center at 12 inches. And then the base is 10.5 inches wide, so I'm gonna mark that at 5.25. And then those two marks will line right up and we will nail everything together. Now we have a really big tree. Oh, hey. Wow, that's embarrassing. Yeah, like I said, this thing is gigantic. It's a really fun project. And if you have made one of these trees, let me know down in the comment section below. If you have any further questions, also let me know down there. And if you enjoyed it and you've made it this far, please consider subscribing. Anyways, for now, my name has been Andy. This has been Cedar River Woodworking, and we'll see you in the next video.